Hey, what is up everyone? In this episode of Play Like a Pro, we're talking about how to board enemy ships. One of the biggest parts of the Sea of Thieves experience is PvP, and boarding is essential to that. So understanding how to board is really important when you're trying to play the game, so that's what this video is going to be all about. So for those of you that don't know, boarding is when you try to get onto an enemy ship. This can be pretty difficult if the enemy is an experienced player who knows what to watch out for. Boarding requires you to be able to think quickly and be creative. There is no one way to board a ship that will work every time, but there are some things we can do that will make you more successful when trying. Let's first talk about boarding a non-moving ship, and then later we'll talk about moving ships. So a non-moving ship includes ships that are parked somewhere like an island or maybe an outpost, or it could be a ship that maybe you stopped while fighting using either like chain shots or cursed cannonballs. This is typically the easiest type of boarding, as the ship is usually either empty or the crew is distracted making repairs. Typically I would recommend doing a sword lunge to go board these ships rather than use a cannon to shoot over, because you do not want to alert the enemy crew that you're coming. As you swim up to the ship, you want to stay underwater as much as possible, and when close to the ship, move slowly to reduce the amount of noise you are making. I typically will swim underneath the ship and board from the opposite side I came from to trick anyone that may be watching the ladder. I'd also recommend, if you are afforded this luxury, try to just hang on the ladder for a bit and use the audio. Usually if you wear headphones, this is like the best way to experience Sea of Thieves, because you'll be able to hear where exactly people are. And I always try to listen out, say if I know someone was at the wheel, you can hear the wheel sound going, wait for them to go below deck or maybe jump off their ship, and then climb up. It's usually not a great practice to go straight into grab the ladder, then go on immediately. Typically these strategies usually work for me, but if you're having trouble boarding, try throwing a blunder bomb at them to give you enough time to board and attack your opponent. This strategy also works with our next type, which is moving ships. However, it may be a little bit more difficult to accomplish. So with moving ships, these are a bit harder due to the whole crew usually on board and watching for boarders. Typically you will board enemy ships while they're chasing you, so use that to your advantage. Sail in a direction where they won't be able to catch up to you, and if you don't know how to do that, I'd recommend checking out this video here where we talk all about sailing and what you need to know. Try to get them to follow you so you can jump off your ship and board them. The first step is to try and hide the fact that you're jumping off your ship. For example, you wouldn't want to jump off the canopy of the back of the sloop, as they would probably be able to see you and know you're coming. Usually I try to jump off the front of my ship, as they're most likely not to see me there compared to anywhere else, but it's really going to be based on the situation. You're going to have to make a judgment call and see which works best for you in the situation. Next, you need to stay underwater as much as possible and come up quickly for air and then go back down. I think of it like a dolphin, so you come up for air for a second and then go back down and hide, and you kind of just do that process going up and down until you reach their ship. Typically when I play, I usually swim for a bit and get into position, and so I'm in the line of where they will be heading, and then I just wait there for them to come. This helps because it hides the noise of me swimming, so my opponents are less likely to hear me board. So far I've only focused on boarding solo, however if you have a crewmate, your chance of success is drastically increased. My favorite strategy is to go with my crewmate and each of us takes a different side to board. Typically most crews only have one player watching for boarders, so if your crew boards on both sides, then at least one of you should be able to get on their ship. Now what do you do when you board an enemy ship? It's really up to you, however typically I have one of two goals. Either one, stop their ship from moving, so I would go straight for the anchor and try to kill anyone who tries to stop me. The second goal is I may be trying to tuck or try to steal something. So for this I would try to avoid catching attention, and I would hop on and quickly hide somewhere, even if it's only temporary. Tucking is a lot of fun and is my favorite thing to do in the game. If you're interested in that, I'd recommend checking out this video. It talks a lot about how to tuck and the things you need to know, how to get set up. So if you're someone new, this would probably be helpful. Even if you're someone old that maybe hasn't done a lot of tucking, this will probably still be helpful for you. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye y'all.